Hello everyone, myself Navneet Kumar Singh and I am teaching you heat and mass transfer for your GATE examination. So my dear students, in the previous video we have seen that how we can calculate the area and effectiveness of the heat exchanger. Now let us see that how we will follow if there is a question in GATE for counter flow, for parallel flow, for effectiveness, for outlet temperatures. So we will revise all the concepts, my dear students. So let us see. Consider a heat exchanger for cooling oil. Okay, he is cooling oil, my dear students. He is considering a heat exchanger for cooling the oil which enters at 180 degrees Celsius. Okay, and cold fluid enters at 25 degrees Celsius. So, my dear students, he have given us hot fluid inlet temperature, cold fluid inlet temperature, and mass flow rates for oil, that is your hot fluid, and water, that is your cold fluid, to be 2.5 and 1.2 kg per second respectively. Okay, the area of heat transfer is 16 meter square. 16 meter square, my dear students. The area of heat transfer is how much? 16 meter square. The specific heat of hot fluid is 1900 joule per kg Kelvin. Already he have given the specific heat in joule per kg Kelvin, my dear students. Now, and overall heat transfer coefficient is given to be 285 watt per meter square Kelvin. Calculate the outlet temperatures of oil and water for number 1 parallel flow heat exchanger and number 2 counter flow heat exchanger, my dear students. So how we should proceed in this question, let us see. First of all, we will make the temperature profile with respect to length of the heat exchanger, as we already know. Let us see. If this is the temperature on y-axis, okay, and I am taking what? The length of the heat exchanger in x-axis, that is your length of heat exchanger, my dear students. Okay. Now, as we know, let us consider the first case. Let us consider the first case, that is your parallel flow heat exchanger. Let us consider the first case, that is your parallel flow. That is your first case. I am considering parallel flow heat exchanger. Now, one student may ask me, sir, he is asking about the parallel, outlet temperatures. How we can proceed if he has not given NTU, because we have to use NTU. First of all, you will analyze or revise the question in your mind, that how you will proceed with the question, because you will save time if you will proceed like this. So first of all, if you will make the temperature profile, everything will be clear. Let us see. So if I am considering the parallel flow case, let us say the fluid is entering at TH1. I have already told you, just write all the things on this only. I will not write there, so that I will easily see all the values and I can do my all calculations. Okay. So the hot fluid entering temperature is given to be 180 degrees Celsius, my dear students. And what is the mass flow rate of the hot fluid? That is m dot h. That is given to be for oil, and that is hot fluid is your oil, my dear students. Hot fluid is your oil. So mh is given to be how much? 2.5 kg per second. Very good. 2.5 kg per second. What is the CH for the hot fluid? The specific heat of hot fluid is 1900 joule per kg Kelvin. 1900, that is 1900 joule per kg Kelvin, my dear students. And something or anything he has given? No. Okay. It is entering at TH1 and going out at TH2, my dear students. And we have to calculate that TH2, that is the outlet or exit temperature of the heat exchanger in the parallel flow case. Okay. Now, if we are considering a parallel flow case, so both the fluids move in the same direction, my dear students. Yes. Now, what is the cold fluid, my dear students? The cold fluid is water. Okay. And the cold fluid is entering from this TC1 and going out like this at TC2. So the cold fluid is entering at TC1, and your TC1 is given to be how much? That is your 25 degrees Celsius. 25 degree Celsius, my dear students. And this is also moving in this direction. Very good. Now again we have to calculate your Tc2, my dear students. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Now what is happening inside this? We already know, sir, that heat is transferred from hot fluid to the cold fluid. Okay. And we have this. This is your particular diagram. Okay. What is the mass flow rate of the cold fluid, my dear students? Mass flow rate of cold fluid. So I will just take mass flow rate here only. So the mass flow rate of the cold fluid is given to be how much? That is 2.5 kg per second. That is oil of water. That is 1.2, my dear students. 1.2 kg per second. Very good. Kg per second. And what is the specific heat for water, my dear students? That is Cc will be 4.18 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Very good. Per kg Kelvin, my dear students. Okay. So we can write like Cc is given to be how much? So Cc is equal to 4.18 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, my dear students. Okay. Now he is asking about the outlet temperatures of oil and water. Let us understand carefully what is happening. Let us see. Now, for parallel flow case, I know that. Can I calculate the outlet temperatures? Let us see. Let us analyze this question so that all the concepts will be clear. Let us see that heat lost by hot fluid is equal to heat gained by cold fluid, my dear students. Cold fluid. Okay. Sir, we know the heat lost by the hot fluid will be given by m dot h Ch into Th1 minus Th2 is equal to m dot C, and heat gained by the cold fluid will be m dot C Cc. Now we remember, sir, this will be Tc2 minus Tc1 because I'm not considering the negative signs. I'm directly taking higher minus lower. Okay. Now let us put all values. What is your m dot h, my dear student? You can directly see your temperature profile diagram, and you have written the values here. That is in kg per second. Units are important. I am always telling you. So this will be Ch. What is the Ch? That is 1 point. Let us take in joule only. 1.9. This will be then kilojoule per kg Kelvin, my dear students. Then again, what is your Th1? That is 180 degrees Celsius minus what is that Th2? You have to calculate. So m dot C, what is your m dot C, my dear student? The mass flow rate for the cold fluid is 1.2. That is also in kg per second. Now what is Cc for water? That is 4.18 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. So very good. Now what is Tc2, my dear students? We have to calculate the outlet temperatures. So Tc1 is given to be 25. So my dear students, can I calculate the temperature here? No. One equation, two parameters. We have one equation, two parameters. That is your Th2. That is your Tc2. So let us take this equation number first. We cannot calculate temperatures here. So how should I proceed? Sir, I know the effectiveness formula, and by using the effectiveness NTU method, I can easily calculate what? Outlet temperatures. That method was developed only for that case. Let us see. Let us see, my dear students. So we have seen the heat flow. My dear students. Can I calculate the? We have seen the heat flow. We cannot calculate. Let us calculate the effectiveness. Let us calculate the effectiveness first. Because if I will know the effectiveness, I can easily get the outlet temperature of my dear students. Let us see. So effectiveness for parallel flow case will be given by effectiveness for parallel flow case is given by that formula which you remember, I think that is 1 minus e to the power minus NTU 1 plus C divided by 1 plus C, my dear students. 1 plus C. What is your C? C is your heat capacity ratio, where, or directly I can write here, where C is equal to heat capacity ratio. Capacity ratio, my dear students. Okay, so can I calculate? Yes, sir. This will be C minimum divided by C maximum. Yes or no? You remember that? Yes. Now C will be C minimum by C maximum. Can I calculate the NTU? So what will be NTU, my dear students? Number of transfer units. So this will be given by UA divided by C minimum. So what is important in this case? First I should know what should I calculate. So let us check the heat capacity of both the fluids, and I will just do here only so that I can pick up the values and I can save my time. Let us see. So what will be your CH, my dear students? This will be 2.5 multiplied by, let us take in closure only, 1.9. So this will be equal to something. Now similarly, what will be your CC, my dear students? That will be your M dot C dot CC, and this will be given by how much? This will be given by 1.2 multiplied by 4.18. 4.18. Let us multiply them and calculate the values. So your CH will be 2.5 multiplied by 1.9. This will be 4.75 kilojoule per second Kelvin, and this will be 1.2 multiplied by 4.18. This will be 5.016 kilojoule per second Kelvin, my dear students. Yes or no? Yes, sir. Now, which heat capacity is minimum? You can look. That is 4.75. That is 5.016. So the heat capacity for the hot fluid is minimum. So we can have a note here that heat capacity for minimum, heat capacity for hot fluid, is minimum, sir. Minimum, very good. Now this will go maximum temperature change. The hot fluid will undergo maximum temperature change. So let us calculate the value of C. So the value of C will be given by, C will be equal to C minimum. What is the value of C minimum? That is 4.75, sir. That is in kilojoule per second Kelvin. And what is the value of this? 5.016. That is in kilojoule. So unit will be same. So the value will become equal to 4.75 divided by 5.016. 5.016, and this value will be 0.94696, my dear students. Okay, now I know the value of specific heat ratio. Okay, now let us calculate the NTU first. Now what will be number of transfer units, my dear students? Number of transfer units will be U. What is the U, my dear students? The 285, that is heat transfer coefficient is given to be 285. So I am directly doing the question to save time. That is 285, and that is in watt, my dear student. Watt per meter square Kelvin multiplied by area is given. What is the area? So I think area is given. Okay, 16 meter square, my dear students. So area is 16 meter square. So watt per meter square will be cancelled. Then we will have only watt per meter, watt per Kelvin. So now C minimum. What is the value of C minimum? 0.94696, sir. So this will become equal to 285 into 16 multiplied by 16 divided by this. So this will be equal to 4815.36, my dear students. So this will be the value of NTU, 481536. Let me calculate again. 16 divided by 0.9464696. That is your 4696. Very good. So this will be 48696. So this is 4815.4, my dear students. Let us see. Now we know the NTU for parallel flow case. Okay. Now let us see. So this effectiveness I am directly calculating here. So this will be given by E is equal to 1 minus e to the power NTU, that is your minus of 4815.4, that I am taking, and 1 plus C is given to be 0.94, okay, divided by 1 plus C again, 1 plus C, that is 0.94, sir. Okay, let us calculate the value of effectiveness. So let us see what will be the value of effectiveness, my dear students. So the value of effectiveness will be, that will be your 1 plus 0.94 multiplied by that is your 1 plus 0.94 multiplied by 4815.4 minus, and this will be your e to the power this will be your e to the power something. So the effectiveness will be equal to 0.4345. 0.4345. Let us calculate the value. 1.94 multiplied by 4815.4 minus 1, and this is equal to, okay, now so this value will be equal to your 0.4345. 0.4345, my dear students. 5 my dear students. So can I calculate the outlet temperatures now? Because I know. So let us calculate the outlet temperatures. So the outlet temperatures will be given by what? Let us see, my dear students. So the outlet temperatures will be given by, let us see. Now I can easily calculate the outlet temperatures, but that is your C, my dear students. So let us, that is not your C minimum. I think I have done something like some mistake is there. So let us calculate NTU again. So what is your NTU, my dear students? So number of transfer units is given by UA by C minimum, and this will be 1600, that is 285. Again you will do the mistake for units, multiply by 16, that is what per Kelvin, my dear students, meter square. Again, now C minimum is how much? So your this value is your for capacity ratio. So what will be C minimum? C minimum is 4.75 kilojoule. So this will be 4750 joule per kg Kelvin. You will do these mistakes, that's why avoid them now only, that 4750. So this will become equal to how much? Let us see. So 285 multiplied by 16, 85 multiplied by 16 and 4750. So this will be equal to 0.96. So I can have a value of this, my dear students. Let us see. So the effectiveness will be given by, my dear students, this will be equal to 1 minus e to the power NTU, which is 0.96 multiplied by 1 plus C. What is 1 plus C? What is the specific heat capacity ratio? This is 0.946. Very good. Again 1 plus C, this will become 0.946. So what will be the effectiveness? Let us calculate again, my dear students. So this will be given by 1.96 multiplied by minus of 0.96 to the power, and this will be 1 minus this divided by 1.946. So this will be 0.43558, my dear students. The effectiveness now I know, that will be 0.43558. Okay, now I know the effectiveness. So can I calculate the outlet temperatures? Yes, I can calculate the outlet temperatures. The outlet temperatures will be given by what? Let us see. So the outlet temperatures you can easily calculate. How? Let us see. So the outlet temperatures will be given by, so most important case, my dear student, that is calculation for outlet temperatures, my dear students. So calculation for outlet temperatures, let us see. So the outlet temperatures will be given by effectiveness, we know, that is Q actual divided by Q maximum. Yes. So this will be given by m dot C, or we can take directly, that is for hot fluid, this will be CH, heat capacity for hot fluid, multiplied by TH1 minus TH2 divided by the C minimum multiplied by TH, that will be TH1 minus TC1, my dear students, maximum temperature difference, because the hot fluid now will undergo maximum temperature change, and your maximum temperature change is this, my dear students, that is your TH1 and TC1, my dear students, TC1. So C minimum, that is like C minimum is equal to what? Hot fluid, heat capacity of the hot fluid, my dear students. So this will be cancelled out. So effectiveness we know this is 4.35 is equal to, now that is TH1. They have given TH1. What is TH1? 180 degrees Celsius minus what is TH2? We have to calculate, my dear students. Now divided by TH1, which is 180, minus TC1, which is they have given TC1. Yes, they have given TC1 to be 25. So we can have the value of TH2 now. So let us calculate the value of TH2, and this will be your 180 minus 25. 180 minus 25. So this value will become 67.516 is equal to 180 minus TH2. So TH2 will come this side. TH2 will come this side. This will go this side. So this will become 180 minus 67.516. So this will become equal to 180 minus this. That is 112.48 degree Celsius, my dear students. So we have calculated the what? TH2 now, and the value of this is coming to be 112.48 degree Celsius. Let us calculate for the cold fluid. So the heat capacity for the cold fluid will be given by what? Let us see. So the heat capacity for cold fluid, outlet temperatures, okay? Calculation for cold fluid. Calculation for outlet temperature of cold fluid, my dear students, cold fluid. So we have seen a equation, the heat gain, heat loss. Directly you can calculate from there, or directly you can go for the simple trick, which is effectiveness. Okay, now let us see which is effectiveness, my dear students. So this will be given by, let us see. So this will be given by E is equal to Cc multiplied by Tc2 minus Tc1 divided by C minimum Th1 minus Th2 Tc1, maximum temperature difference. So what is your Cc, my dear students? So heat capacity Cc for this cold fluid is 5.016 kilojoule per second Kelvin, but I have to take both in the same units. So I will take the both in same units. Right. What is your C minimum value? C minimum is 4.75. Units are same now. 4.75. This will be in kilojoule per second Kelvin. This will be in kilojoule per second Kelvin. So both will be same, no problem. Okay. Now TH1 is given to be how much? 180 degrees Celsius, my dear students. Minus what is your TC1? TC1 is 25, sir. So can we calculate the value of TC2? Yes, sir. We can calculate the value of TC2, and effectiveness is given to be how much? 0.435 is equal to 5.016 into TC2 minus 25 divided by 4.75 180 minus 25. Let us calculate the value of TC2, my dear students. So TC2 will be given by, let us see. So TC2 will be given by 0.435 into 4.75 multiplied by 180 minus 25 divided by 5.016. So this value will become 63.849 is equal to TC2 minus 25. So this value will come this side, it will be added. So this will become equal to TC2 is equal to plus 25. This will be, my dear students, 88.8 degree Celsius. So like this you can calculate the temperatures of outlet temperatures of what? Any fluid. If you know the equations, that equation is very much important. I can also modify this for same heat capacities when his capacities of the fluid is same, or for phase change you will have different numericals in this, and you will be having good questions on this. So let us see for the counter flow case, my dear students. Let us see for the counter flow heat exchangers. So in case of counter flow heat exchangers, let us see. So if I will assume that this I am using a counter flow heat exchanger, what will happen? Let us see. So that is your second, and that is for counter flow heat exchangers. Counter flow heat exchangers, my dear students. Very good. Now again the same procedure, but some equations will be different. Let us see. So if I am assuming a counter flow heat exchanger, what will be there? Let us see. So temperature again on this profile and length of heat exchanger on this profile again, my dear students. Hope you remember now everything. Now the hot fluid is undergoing maximum temperature change in the parallel flow. Let us see here what will happen. So this is your TH1, this is your TH2, and this is a counter flow case. So the fluid will enter from opposite direction. This is your TC1, my dear students, and this will be something like this. In opposite direction it is flowing. This will be your TC2. So you have to calculate TC2. You have to calculate TH2, outlet temperatures in both the cases. We know the specific heat capacity for this mass flow rate. We know that is mH. CH we know that mH is 2.5, my dear students, kg per second, and CH is given to be 1.9 kilojoule per second, my dear students. We can easily calculate CH here, that is 2.5 multiplied by 1.9, that was your 4.1. That was your how much? 4.1 something. Let us have this value. This is 4.75. So this value will be 4.75 again. This will be in kilojoule per second Kelvin. Okay. We know m dot c, that is 1.2, my dear students, 1.2 kg per second. And let us directly calculate the value of Cc. So this will be 1.2 multiplied by specific heat capacity of the specific heat of this. So 1.2 into 4.18, that was 5.0, that was 0.16. 5.016 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, my dear students. So now Cc is already we have seen for the parallel flow. Now in counter flow case also the Cc that is heat capacity is minimum for what? Hot fluid again. Now as it is minimum for the hot fluid, what I will calculate now? Let us calculate the capacity ratio, my dear students. So the capacity ratio will be given by C minimum by C maximum again. This will be same. 0.96. Let us see. This will be 4.75 kilojoule per second Kelvin, same unit. And this is 5.016. This will be same again. 4.75 divided by this will be 0.94696. We know the capacity ratio, that is your C, my dear students. That is your C. Now, can we calculate the effectiveness for this? That is now for counter flow, my dear students. Counter flow. So the effectiveness in this case will be given by is equal to 1 minus e to the power minus NTU 1 minus C divided by 1 minus C of e to the power minus NTU 1 minus C, my dear students. Yes or no? 1 minus C, my dear students. So let us put all values. So can I calculate the NTU again? Yes. The number of transfer units will be given by U, A by C minimum. And this will be same because U is same, A is same, C minimum is same. So the NTU for this case will be 0.96. We have calculated 0.96. So we know the NTU. And also we know our specific heat capacity ratios, my dear students. So we know also specific heat capacity ratios. So what will be there? Let us see. What will be there? Let us see. So this will be given by something. So this is okay. Now let us put all values. And calculate the value of effectiveness. So what will be the value of effectiveness? So effectiveness will be given by E is equal to 1 minus e to the power minus of 0.9469 multiplied by 1 minus C, specific heat capacity ratio. Minus is there because plus was there. So minus will be here. Let us see. So this will be 1 minus C of, that is 0.96, 0.94. NTU is like 0. This is again, I am avoiding the mistakes, my dear students. So NTU is given by minus of 0.96. And what is specific heat capacity ratio? This is, a small mistake can carry your 2 marks in gate, I am telling you. So you have to be very conscious about this, okay? And you can learn from this. So this 1 point, like we have to put the velocity of C, value of C. What is the value of C, my dear students? This is given by 0.94696 multiplied by e to the power minus NTU minus of NTU. What is the value of NTU, my dear students? That is 0.96 into 1 minus 0.94696. 0.94696. Let us calculate the value of effectiveness. What will be the value of effectiveness, my dear students? Let us see. So the value of effectiveness will become equal to, let us first calculate the value of this part. Value of this part, if I will assume to be x, so this will become simple because there will not be any error then. So let us calculate first it. So this will be 1 minus 0.94696, okay, multiplied by NTU, multiplied by minus of NTU, that is minus of 0. NTU is 0.96, and this e to the power will become equal to 0.95035. 0.95035. This value will become, if I will take it x, 0.95. Okay, now let us see. So I can directly put the value 1 minus 0.95 divided by 1 minus 0.94669 multiplied by 0.95. Okay, then it will be simple and no error will be there. Let us calculate this first. So this will be 1 minus this divided by 1 minus 0.9469 into this. So effectiveness in this case will be 0.4959, my dear students. 4959. So now we know the effectiveness. Can we calculate the outlet temperatures, my dear students? Yes, we can calculate the outlet temperatures. Let us see. So again, the outlet temperatures will be given by what? Let us see. Let us see the outlet temperatures. So we know what and effectiveness we have calculated. Yes. Let us see the outlet temperatures. It is very simple. So little bit lengthy calculations is there, and they can make you easy because they will give the same cases, like different cases for same heat capacity and heat phase change heat exchangers. So let us see, my dear students. So effectiveness is given by Q actual divided by Q maximum is equal to what is, let us consider first of all hot fluid, my dear students. Let us calculate TH2 first. So this will become Q actual, that is your CH, TH1 minus TH2 divided by C minimum into TC1 minus TC2. Okay, my dear students, TH1 minus TC1. So CH is minimum for the hot fluid. So this will be cancelled out. So effectiveness, that implies effectiveness is given by 0.4959 is equal to TH1. They have given to be how much? 180 degrees Celsius. 180 degrees Celsius minus 0. So TH2 we have to calculate, my dear students. So what is TH1? Again 180. What is TC1? That is 25. So can I calculate the value of TH2? So the value of TH2 will be given by, let us calculate it. So value of this will be given by 0.4959 into 180 minus 25. 76.86. This part will come, and I will take this side and this side. So this will become 180 minus this. So this will be 103.13. This will be 103.13 degree Celsius. Now you can see the difference. In that parallel flow case, we were having like higher temperature. That heat loss was minimum. for the parallel flow case. Like, but what is happening here? The outlet temperature, that is TH2, is minimum than the outlet temperatures of the parallel flow case. That means the heat lost in this case is more. Okay, more. Now let us calculate for the cold fluid. Cold fluid outlet temperature. Cold fluid outlet temperature for counter flow, that is TC2, you have to calculate. Now let us calculate. This is 0.4959 is equal to how much? That is C for CC, that is will be your 5.016 into 10 to the power 3 multiplied by TC2 minus TC1. What is the TC2? We have to calculate. TC1 is 25. Again, this will be nothing but what? C minimum, that is 4.75 into 180 minus 25. Now units are same, kilojoule per kg Kelvin, kilojoule per kg Kelvin, no problem. Let us multiply this. So this will be 0.4959 into 4.75 into 180 minus 25, that is 365. Let us divide with this also. So I will not take this value. I am telling you, units must be same, my dear students. I am doing these mistakes because you will know that what mistake you can do. Okay, let us see. This is now become equal to divided by 5.016. That will be 72.78 is equal to TC2 minus 25. So this will become equal to plus 25. So TC2 will be equal to 97.78, my dear student, degree Celsius. So now you can analyze. There is approximately 10 degrees Celsius. Change when you are using counter flow, when you are using parallel flow case. So as the area is same, area must be minimum for the counter flow case. We have seen in our previous videos when we were doing the derivation for LMTD. Okay, now but we have considered same case, and from this you can analyze what you can conclude. You can conclude that temperature is minimum, or that is maximum temperature drop, or in counter flow heat exchanger, and there is minimum temperature drop in the parallel flow heat exchanger. So you can analyze that delta T will be maximum for what? Counter flow case. So the area should be minimum for this case, my dear students. So if area is same, then delta T will increase. My dear students. So hope you have understood both the cases. I can also include the third case, that is same heat capacities. So you can practice more number of questions there. You know them. That is very simple, and I hope you have understood from the basic. Okay. Thank you so much, my dear students.